Hey guys, Carrie Bowman here, professional certified life coach, and today we're going to talk about a really sticky subject, which is, are you in the problem or are you in the solution? And if you ask yourself, or you ask most people that question, invariably they will tell you they are in the solution, and invariably they are lying to themselves. I'm not saying that they're lying to you on purpose or themselves on purpose. It's just a tendency of our brain. So when we have a problem, let's take we're not making enough money. Finances are a huge thing that people have a problem with. The solution might be a plethora of things. Maybe it's trying to find a different job, or taking on part-time work, or budgeting better so they can save more money. I mean, whatever the action is that they're going to take is wonderful. That empowers them, that sets them on the path to creating change. But the problem is they're thinking about this lack of money all the time. And basically what they're in is they're in fear all the time. When we have a problem, whether that's our health or our relationships or our money or whatever it is that is bringing us distress, when we have a problem, that's where our consciousness, our focus goes. It's like a toothache. You know how like you're always messing with the tooth, right? Or you stub your toe. Your focus, your consciousness goes to the pain, all right? Your psyche is the same way. So your psyche goes to fear and pain the same way that physiologically you pay attention to pain in your body. Now, the problem with focusing on the problem, i.e. the pain, is that that's where you're creating from. Now, I'm not going to get into this whole law of attraction, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of mainstream, really trendy things around, like The Secret and manifestation and all this stuff. And some of it is true and some of it's not. But I can tell you that if you're approaching trying to change something that's freaking you out, and you're in that space where you're always thinking about the thing that's freaking you out, and you're always worried about what's going to happen, and there's something in your brain that has this, this coming doom that you're going to experience, say like you can't make your bills or you can't make that credit card payment, then that's where you're creating from. You'll hear me say this a lot, that, in our consciousness, your consciousness is who you are. Okay, just basic 101, your consciousness is your awareness. That's who you are. We always create from where we are. Okay, so just imagine, this is a really simple analogy or a visual, consciousness being like a ladder. Okay, so you have like the lower rungs of the ladder: fear, anger, guilt, shame, disdain, pride as the lower one. And then as you go higher up on this ladder, you get into a place where you don't experience those really aversive states below. So you have, neutrality, courage, unconditionality, love, joy, peace. You have the higher ones. Okay, so if you're in a problem, i.e., let's say you're on rung one of the ladder, you're in fear. All right. So if you're in fear, you're creating from rung one of the ladder. And I got to tell you, the one thing that the law of attraction that I see happen again and again, just like clockwork, is that we always draw experiences to ourselves based on where we are. So if you're in fear, if you're in the problem, I guarantee you that if that is where you're spending 51% of your time, most of us spend about 95% of our time there, that you're creating more of that. So when I say you create more of where you are, you're creating more fear. You're creating more pain. You're creating more lack. You're creating more of less money. You're creating, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, that's where you're creating from. So I have clients and they say, okay, I buy into that. I see that that's true. I've been aware of my thinking and I see that you're right. I'm in fear a lot and I'm constantly worried about money and I don't know how to fix it. And I'm scared a lot and I'm always there. So they're like, okay, I buy that. So then what do I do? For those of you who know me, I'm an action-oriented coach. I'm about tools. I'm about changing. I'm about strategies. I love to talk and to theorize, but at the end of the day, especially for me, when it comes to fear and problems, i.e. that cause us to fear, I need some tools. I need some strategies. So the first thing to do is to be aware of, okay, my focus, my consciousness has gone to where the problem is. So I'm in my lack of money. I'm in the, oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God, I can't pay my bills. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm there again. So the first thing is to be aware that I have, instead of being aware that I'm me, I'm in my consciousness, I've gone over here to the pain, just like you would go to your toothache, and that's where I am right now. And it's a very painful place to be. So the very first tool is to just have the awareness of, I'm back there again. as you're beginning to learn, when you go over there to the toothache, to the pain, to the fear, you'll begin to notice it more and more. When you first start, you might realize like, oh my God, I've been here for like an hour or two and I had no idea. And literally it's, they're patterns, they're cycles, they're habitual. And your mind, we call them mental looping. Your mind just goes on and on and on in the same loop, trying to figure it out, trying to come up with strategies, trying to be resourceful and creative, and you can't. You cannot be creative and resourceful if you're low on the ladder. All right. So when you're in the problem, there's no solution going on. Basically, all you're doing is you're sitting in the fear, you're sitting in the problem, and nothing is going to happen except that you're creating more of just that. So the first thing is to just be aware of, I'm there. All right. And the next thing, and this is what meditation can really help, or any practice that helps you have more empowerment over your focus, because believe it or not, it might not feel like you have, especially when you're scared, that you have much power over your focus, because like literally your brain feels in charge. It's like a dog with a bone. It's like there's a fear, and no matter what you do, it just goes back to it again and again. It like literally won't let go. It's running your life. The fear is running your life. So at first, you'll be in it a lot, and it will be hard to disengage. And however you can reframe the situation, however you can talk to yourself, whether it's today I don't have what I need, this is what I'm doing. These are the action steps that I'm taking, and whatever it is, so you can really challenge that is really, really important. A lot of you hear me talk about connection, and I don't mean connection to anyone else. I mean connection to yourselves. And we get connected in a variety of ways: meditation, prayer, being outside, being with kids, animals, cooking, baking, dancing, it doesn't matter. But when you get connected to yourself, even briefly, that pain, that fear might not go away, but it doesn't feel so big. All right. So really what I encourage people to do is really start paying attention to when you do feel connected, when you feel just a slight sense of ease and peace, like things are okay. Like I know I don't have everything figured out, and I have this bill coming on the 30th, but for today, right now, in this moment, everything is okay. When you can tap into that, then what happens is you come up higher on the ladder. The ladder is just your consciousness, all right? And fear and pain and the lower states, the lower rungs of the ladder, you're not going to figure anything out. The goal, if you want to have a goal for this, is to go higher up on the ladder. When you are in a higher state, when you're connected to yourself, then you can get creative, then you can get resourceful, then you can problem solve. So when I ask people, are you more in the problem or in the solution? And they say I'm more in the solution, I don't buy that, because 99.9% of the time, when we don't have the tools or the awareness of what happens to us when we have our problems, the mind is in charge, and we're in that problem almost 100% of the time. I promise you guys that you cannot change this problem when you're in a fear state around the problem. I promise. I have never seen it happen. I've never seen someone come into coaching that is in a fear about a change that they need to make, that has been able to successfully make or sustain that change when they're in the problem. This is a lot about learning tools to navigate yourself away from that problem, so then you can open the door to all the problem solving and creativeness and resourcefulness that you inherently have inside yourself. So if you're having a problem right now, whether it's about a relationship or money or your health, or I mean, it doesn't matter. It can be anything in the world. If you're having that, the first thing I implore you to do is bring some awareness to how much you're thinking of it, how much this problem is running your life, because our brains are wired for survival. And so when we're having a problem, especially one that feels really threatening, our brains freak out. And they want to think and be in that mental looping all the time. So the first thing is to get really proactive about the mental looping, that when you're going there, and even if you just say to yourself, like, I can't figure anything out in this state. Like, there's nothing I can do with this looping, this cycle. And if you watch it, you'll see that it's a cycle. You'll see that you're looping. You'll see that your brain is like the washing machine, or the dryer. It's just going in circles. If you watch it, you'll see that it's doing the same thing, trying to figure out the same thing, going through the same fear, going through the same pain. It's doing the same thing all day long. And the first step to disrupting being in the problem is to have the awareness that you're there. So if something's going on and you think you're in the solution, I guarantee you that you're probably not. So the reason I'm doing this video is to bring your awareness to how you might be getting in your own way of creating it. Because maybe you're, taking the action steps and you're doing the work and you're making the calls and you're hitting the pavement and doing whatever you need to do. But if your consciousness is over here all the time spinning and looping, I guarantee you, you're not going to create anything. And that problem is going to get more real, and it's going to get worse, and it's going to get scarier. And then your reaction to it, your looping and how you cope is just going to get more ingrained and worse. So bring some awareness to how you show up in that space. I promise you, you have more power than you think. And this is all about new ways, new coping, new ways to show up when these problems arise. Because I promise you, once this problem gets figured out, another one's going to come in. That's how the human mind works. It's like, okay, I no longer am going to fixate on this thing, but now there's something new over here. Or now here's a new thing that I need, or a new thing that I want, or a new thing that I need to keep away from me, that I don't want to have happen. Remember, whatever it is, your life is being run by, I want these things to happen for me to be okay, and I want to avoid, or I don't want these things in order to be okay. So the more awareness you can bring to these cycles, the more you can disrupt them, so you actually can be creative. You will be amazed if you are higher up on the ladder. Oh my God, the solutions and the inspiration and the creativity that will come to you will be amazing. You are a brilliant creature, but not on the lower rung of the ladder. So bring some awareness into, if you're having a problem, where am I on this ladder? Am I low? Am I looping? Am I going in a circle? Or am I reframing this? Am I challenging it? Am I stepping out of it? Am I trying to connect with myself? And then in a more calm state, am I returning and then trying to problem solve from there? So let me know if you have any questions or comments. I hope everyone is well, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.